You've found just stories, simple, heartfelt moments from real lives, stories that remind us how connected we all are through love, loss, and hope. Get cozy. The stories are about to begin. Streams of tears flowed down her cheeks, blurring her vision. The world before her eyes swam, losing the sharpness of its outlines. In her consciousness, a single, agonizing question hammered. Why? Why had her life taken such a turn? She had grown up in the lap of plenty, the only child in the family. Her father adored her, ready to fulfill any whim. Despite everything, Catherine knew no whims alien to true good breeding. She loved her parents. Her studies came easily, but required diligence. She finished school with a gold medal, university with honors. She was involved in sports, winning awards and medals, and all these laurels were earned by her herself, gained through hard work and sweat. Her father introduced her to the family business, and here Catherine amazed him with her quick wit and competence. But fate, it seemed, lay in wait for her. Her father passed away suddenly, under circumstances shrouded in a strange shadow. He was hunting with friends when a tree fell on him. It fell so unfortunately, right on his head. He died on the spot. Catherine was a continuation of his soul, and this loss was a crushing blow to her. However, inner resilience, a tempered character, helped her stand firm. Catherine didn't just return to business. She took the helm of the enterprise her father had left behind. Her relationship with her mother had been complicated since her youth, riddled with misunderstanding. Her mother, it seemed, saw a rival in her daughter, forgetting their blood relation, jealous of her husband. But Catherine, despite everything, cherished love for her mother, though she often didn't understand her. Barely having time to catch her breath after one loss, another blow struck. Her mother was laid low by a heart attack, and a week later, she was gone. And again, pain, farewell, devastation. All this crashed down on her in less than a year. Loneliness became her lot. Catherine plunged headfirst into work, seeking salvation in it. The world around her lost its colors. Fate forced her too early to bear the burden of adulthood, the responsibility for the lives of hundreds of people working under her. As it happened, there were no kindred spirits nearby. Time was consumed by studies, sports, the pursuit of perfection. Only superficial connections, acquaintances from university or sections, and there was no one to pour out her soul to ask for advice. Her only true friend was her father, but he had been gone for 3 years now, and his absence still echoed with a phantom pain that was hard to accept. And then, just when it seemed life had frozen, he appeared. Their meeting was a stroke of chance. They met at a celebration dedicated to City Day. Catherine was there as an honored guest, a patron, and David was the son of a well-known deputy. David captivated her from the first glance. His beauty was dazzling, and his charm boundless. Their relationship developed rapidly. 3 months later, David proposed, and she, buoyed by feeling, accepted. They tied the knot, and David entered her home. But the marital haven turned out to be not as cloudless as she had dreamed in the time of infatuation. Just a few months after the wedding, David began disappearing at night, returning only towards morning. He didn't strive for work, and it seemed had no intention of doing so at all. He was quite content with the wealth created by his wife. Whispers of his infidelity, of a marriage of convenience, reached her. But Catherine pushed these thoughts away. She believed her husband. However, her husband's idleness weighed on her. She repeatedly suggested he start his own business, but he always found excuses. Almost a year of their life together passed like this, until a call came from a certain well-wisher, informing her that her husband was currently out of town, in a roadside hotel, and not alone. Tired of the rumors, eager to dispel her doubts, Catherine decided to make sure her faith in David was not in vain, and went to the specified hotel. The caller even gave the room number. The car stopped at the hotel. For a moment she froze, wondering, had she chosen the right path? I must know the truth. If he's not there, no one will know about my visit. But if he is, then I don't need a husband capable of betrayal." Gathering her will, she got out and went up the stairs. She stopped at the door with the given number. She listened. From behind the door came a woman's laughter. She knocked, softly but firmly. A young woman opened the door. "Who are you looking for?" came the surprised question. "Excuse me, may I come in?" Catherine's voice trembled. "Why on earth? We're relaxing here and we weren't expecting guests." The woman turned back into the room. "Darling, come here, please." David appeared from the room. He was wearing only a towel, nothing else. Catherine looked at her husband. She didn't want to believe her eyes. "Tell me, what were you lacking? Was all this really just for money?" Catherine's voice was on the verge of breaking. "Catherine, darling, it's not what you think at all. Well, you couldn't have come up with a more ridiculous excuse." Struck by his impudence, Catherine said, "Please to leave you to it. I'll send your things to this address." She rushed out of the hotel as if fleeing a chase, afraid David would follow her. She wanted to disappear, to hide from the whole world somewhere in a thicket, but there was no forest nearby. In the distance, the outlines of a park or grove were visible, and Catherine rushed towards it. She didn't remember how her feet led her to the railway tracks. She looked around, trying to understand where she was. Her mind seemed to be enveloped in a fog. Catherine walked, and tears still flowed. The world before her eyes swam. In her consciousness, the same unbearable question hammered. Why? Why had her life taken such a turn? Suddenly she stopped. Her head spun. Weakness washed over her. The last thought, she hadn't eaten anything today, and the world went dark. Suddenly, someone's hands caught her, dragged her aside. Consciousness returned in a cramped, unfamiliar room. A young man sat nearby, whose appearance spoke of long wanderings. Catherine's heart clenched with fear. What if he had dragged her here with bad intentions? But there was no aggression in his eyes. On the contrary, noticing that she had come to, he spoke. "How do you feel? Did you fall onto the tracks intentionally or by accident? You're lucky I was nearby. Otherwise a train would have run you over. I barely managed to pull you away." He continued to talk, to ask questions, but Catherine barely understood what was happening. Finally coming to her senses, she looked at her savior again and asked, "Where am I? What's your name? What's your—" "My name is Daniel. You're in my shelter." Daniel looked at her. He wanted to ask what had brought her here, but changed his mind. Who knows what grief a person has, he thought. Maybe it's better not to stir their soul. But Catherine herself, as if a dam had broken, told him what had happened, about her ungrateful husband, his betrayal, about how she had fled, running wherever her eyes led her. "Daniel, thank you so much. You saved my life. My husband was definitely not worth ending my life on the tracks for." "And why are you here? You're still so young. Where is your family?" Daniel lowered his gaze. He felt awkward, but frankness is paid with frankness, and he decided to tell his story. "I had a family. My parents were well-off people. Then they died in a car crash, and I was left alone. More precisely, there was still a brother, because of whom I ended up here. My father left the business to me in his will. My brother couldn't accept it, and he framed me badly. I had no choice but to hide. He promised to help, to send money. But, as you see, I'm here, and there's no money. I'm not from around here. I have nowhere and no one to go to. I tried to get a job, but I don't have documents. And recently I found out that he declared me missing. Can you imagine? I should go back and prove I'm alive, but those I supposedly owe are really waiting for that. And I don't know what to do. They won't even hire me as a loader. So, Catherine, your trouble isn't the worst. Your husband betrayed you, and my own brother betrayed me." Catherine looked at Daniel, feeling deep compassion. She genuinely felt sorry for this kind, tormented young man, and she decided to help him in any way she could. "Daniel, let's do this. We'll go to my place now. You'll take a bath. Then we'll work on your appearance, fix your hair, and then pick out some clothes." She saw that Daniel was about to object and stopped him with a gesture. "Don't even try to argue. It's useless. You are my savior. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here anymore. So, objections are not accepted. I know how to be grateful and I always remember kindness. So, let's go. We need to find my car." They left the shelter and headed towards the hotel. The car was waiting in the same spot, and next to it stood David. Catherine stopped, stunned. "I'm just curious. What are you counting on? Do you think I'll pretend nothing happened? Don't even hope. Today, pack your things and get out of my house." David wanted to say something, but he looked at Daniel and burst out laughing. "What a unique specimen you've snagged instead of me. What, couldn't find anyone decent? Are you dating hobos now?" Catherine knew how to take a hit and respond. "You won't believe it, but this, as you put it, hobo, is hundreds of times more decent and smarter than you. You're not even worth the nail on his little finger. I regret only one thing, that I married you. It was the biggest mistake of my life. But it's okay. I'll fix it." They got into the car together with Daniel and drove away. While Daniel was in the bath, Catherine called a hairdresser to the house and ordered men's clothes. Everything was delivered quickly. When Daniel came out, shaved, in her husband's bathrobe, Catherine was amazed. He turned out to be very attractive, even captivating. And after the haircut, he looked years younger. "Now that's completely different," Catherine smiled. "Let's go somewhere now and celebrate my second birthday and your return to normal life." Daniel didn't object. He was very hungry, and they went to a restaurant. The clothes Catherine had chosen fit Daniel perfectly. He was even surprised. "How did you manage to pick them so accurately? I can't always do it myself without trying them on." Catherine smiled. "I often buy online. I bought for my father, my husband. I have a good eye. I'm glad you liked it." "And the style? Do you wear things like this?" "I didn't ask. I chose to my taste." "It's all great. You guessed right here, too." "Daniel, I have a suggestion for you," Catherine said. "We're almost the same age. Let's switch to you, informal." "I don't object. Let's." He smiled. He liked this girl. She was easy and pleasant to be with. Catherine also looked at him with interest. After the transformation, his true nature became more apparent. Good breeding, education, manners, everything indicated a person from a different circle. Interesting, if we hadn't met, Catherine thought. How would his fate have turned out? Would he have remained an outcast forever because of his brother's baseness? How terrible. They arrived at the restaurant. The evening was wonderful. Daniel told stories from his past life. Catherine shared hers. They remembered their parents, childhood, years of study. They spoke the same language. It was easy and fun. Suddenly, Catherine's phone rang. Catherine excused herself and stepped away from the table. The conversation lasted about 10 minutes. She returned, beaming with a smile. "Is everything all right?" Daniel asked. "Good news?" "Yes, wonderful. My lawyers have prepared the divorce papers and everything can be officially finalized tomorrow. I don't want to drag it out. I don't want to bear his name anymore, even formally." "Congratulations." "Yes, thank you. But that's not all. I asked them to find out something about your brother. In short, I'll help you get your father's business back. And in the meantime, you can work in my company if you want, of course." Daniel looked at Catherine, not believing his ears. "How? Is that possible? Who are you? An angel?" Tears welled up in his eyes. "It turns out you are my savior, not me yours. You brought me back to life. I don't know how to thank you." "Stop it. It will be my pleasure to help you. So, will you work with me?" "Of course I will." He paused for a moment and added, "Now everything has fallen into place." Catherine looked at him with surprise. What became clear? Daniel moved closer and took her hand. "It's just that I dreamed of you. I wasn't there by chance when I found you. I fell asleep, and I had a strange dream. A girl is walking in a beautiful blue dress, and behind her back are huge white wings like a real angel's. And then she suddenly falls, right onto the tracks, head first. And at that moment, I heard a voice. "Get up. You must save the angel." I jumped up and ran to where I saw you. And you were also in a blue dress. I don't believe in mysticism, of course, but you can't call this a simple coincidence. So you are my angel. Thank you. So that's what it is. She paused and looked at Daniel with sly mystery. Now we'll have to be together always. An angel can't abandon the one they protect, can they? And they both laughed.